we go. We're good? Welcome to another episode of the eSAX podcast series. I'm your host, Jarrod Goldsmith. Joining us today is Alfonso Cuadra from Cuadra Group of Companies. Alfonso, thank you for joining us today.
Good to be here. I mean, we've been meaning to do this for a while.
For a long time. You know, it's great that I was on your television show a while ago. I think I was on one of your past videos.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure to welcome you over the years. So, Alfonso, what are you working on these days? Tell me a bit about the business.
Well, the business right now is the business that I've always had for the past 20 years is the real estate investment firm. Mm-hmm. And I like to call myself a freedom fighter. Yeah. I fight for people to achieve freedom, financial freedom. And so, you know, we invest. We're investing all across Canada, multi-units, flips, you know, and we're offering, you know, real decent returns to our investors.
Right. And you've been an entrepreneur a long time, right? And you've had multiple
23 plus years.
That's something. Yeah. So were you always made to be an entrepreneur? Were you born for it? What are some of your earlier stories about that?
So I'll share a story with you. Okay, so when I was 12 years old, I got a paper route. Yeah. And great. Paid $400 a month. I mean, it was a while back.
A lot of work too.
But a lot of work. It was a whole building. Mm-hmm. So it was all like, it was 22 unit building, 22 floor building, and the paper route paid $400 a month. The problem with the paper route was that you have to deliver papers after school, and in the mornings, Saturday and Sunday. And as you know, Jared, perfect cartoon watching time. And so I needed to solve that issue, right? So what I did was I subcontracted my paper route to another kid for $200 a month. And now I'm making a residual of $200, an override of $200 a month without having to deliver the papers.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. And so I got a second paper route and another building. And so now I'm making $300 a month not having to deliver papers. And so that's it. I would love to say that I was born an entrepreneur, but it came out of necessity to watch cartoons.
I love that story. Yeah.
So you know, it's this idea that, you know, you can leverage people, right? You can leverage other people's time. We talk about other people's money, but I'm more interested in how can I leverage people. And in part of my success, I run 11 companies, and the only reason I could do that is because I have some of the best people, the best managers, people that are highly qualified, smarter than I am, in managing the operations.
Right. Actually, everybody says time is the most important asset we have, but it's leveraging that and helping other people use their time to benefit the common goal. Yeah. Right.
And so when you hear an entrepreneur say, you know, I just don't want to hire someone because they couldn't do it better than I could. Those are the worst things an entrepreneur can say, because you are limiting yourself. You will be limited to your own experience, your own time, your own money, your own credit. And so why not trust other people, empower them to make decisions, and your business can grow. Now you're no longer working in the business. You can be working on the business.
Oh, we hear that a lot. That's such a big differentiator, absolutely. And Alfonso, you mentioned something very interesting about working with people who are smarter than you.
Yes, absolutely.
You're not going to be everything in the business. You know, when you're starting out,
the six hat syndrome is the worst. I guess illness than an entrepreneur.
I mean, I like hats more than most people, but tell me a bit about this.
Well, you know what? We, as entrepreneurs, we feel like we need to be the cleaning person. Yeah. We need to, you know, make sure that the customers are taken care of. We're doing accounting. We're doing this. And so the key to success, I find, is to find the people in your life that play at the things that you have to work hard at. For me, I was never someone that was, you know, gets excited over numbers or accounting, right? So I had to find people that love that. I mean, there's people that are so smart, so gifted at the numbers, and let them do it. Let them take over, right? Yeah. And they will do a much better job than you will ever do. And then you can focus on the things that matter for your business.
Because it makes your business much more efficient.
Yes.
If their passion is doing, let's say, the numbers in this case, and you want to focus more on the outreach or the social media or getting out in the community. Yeah. Yeah. Right, that's really wise. Yeah. Well, what are some of the failures that you've had over the years? Would you care to talk about some of your perhaps biggest regrets?
Okay, so like right now I have 11 amazing companies. Yeah. But that was a result of having hundreds of failed attempts of doing, just trying everything, right? I've been an entrepreneur since I was 17 when I started my first enterprise. It was a clothing business that before I turned 20 years old, it was already grossing into the millions. But, I got that bug. Yeah. And so, you feel invincible. So I'll try this, I'll try that, I'll try this, I'll try that. And a lot of the things didn't work out. And it was mostly because of me, right? When I try to get in the way of things, meaning if I'm in there trying to, run everything myself, that's when things start to
So to back off and let the company, the good staff you have run.
I have one of my companies is an e-bike store, for example. I don't know anything about e-bikes. I don't know what a wattage is, a voltage, or I don't even know. I will make a mess of that thing. And it turned out to be a really profitable little enterprise. Yeah. Because I have zero knowledge, so I have to hire people to take care of it, and then they did a better job than I ever could, and it ended up being an incredible investment, an incredible enterprise. And so the failures come from I always say the failures it was always my fault, right? I didn't read the market. I'm always eager to jump in, and maybe it wasn't the right thing, but you know what? You can learn from those failures.
Absolutely.
And so if you learn from them and the next time you do better, and you realize that the only reason you failed is because it was you, not anybody else, and so you're going to be successful.
That's a really important aspect. And for those of us who are let's say, been in business a couple of years, it's tough to disassociate yourself, the founder, from the business. Yeah. But what's the big picture? To stay in business in 2, 5, 10 years from now, what needs to get done?
Yeah. And you can work on things that matter, right? Like profitability of a business, growing the top line. People get stuck in the everyday, the day-to-day, right? I got to do this, and this I call it busy work. People are I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I got to do this. I got to go to the bank. Really? What? You have to go to the bank? Ask yourself, what does it cost to hire someone to do that task? I bet you it's not more than $20 an hour. Do you want to make $20 an hour? Right? So how much is your hour worth? And the activities that you do on a daily basis should be worthy of your time.
Right, absolutely. The time management is so key, and people, I think, they get so caught up in, like you say, the day to day. Yeah. That they're missing out on working on the business. Yeah. 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 That's very, very important. And Alfonso, what does networking mean to you?
Oh, everything. Everything. Everything that I've built, all my companies come from my network. Right? Yeah. I like to be a person that anytime I interact with somebody, I want to leave them better than how before we met. Right? And maybe you have some advice. Maybe we can work on a project together, joint venture, do something like this. Be part of contribute to your platform, whatever it is. It's so important that we network. In general, right? Everybody should have, as an entrepreneur, you should have a genuine interest in other people.
For sure.
And ask yourself, how can I help that person, right? And so it's huge. All my companies have come. I have customers that were my customers 23 years ago. Right. I've gone through many different companies, and they're still my customers today, right?
Because they like dealing with you. It's that trust factor over the years.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like any business, and any time you're networking, it's about offering to help make people's lives better. Right?
Absolutely. You have to be a solution-driven individual. And if you have a genuine interest in other people, that will come back tenfold.
Right.
And so what happens is people do networking the wrong way. It's about them. Yeah. Right?
I see it all the time.
Yeah. And so I'm here. I'm not really, I am here in some regard to promote what I'm doing, but I want to give you exposure. I want an opportunity for my audience to see what you're doing, your platform, and so how can you exchange value? But people always are asking that question: what's in it for me? What's in it for me? They talk about themselves, so they never really build the relationship, and you can't move outside of that if you don't build a strong relationship.
But that's so important. It's very short-sighted if those attend networking events, and this I call a rookie mistake. Yeah. Then perhaps those starting up a business for the first time, they're out there hustling, getting gigs. realizing it's about community.
Yeah.
It's about helping other people achieve
Yeah.
their dreams,
Yeah.
and it'll come back.
Yeah.
People call it karma or whatever you want to call it.
Well, yeah. You said it. You said it best. Community, right? This is Ottawa or Canada or we were building a community of entrepreneurs, and a community is only as strong as its civil servants. So you need to put in just as much as you take out.
Right.
If you just take, eventually you'll be overdrawn.
Yeah, the well's gonna go dry out.
Yeah. And that's what happens. People go in and they already. I mean, I just the other day I got an email from somebody. On the email, they're already trying to sell me a product. Like you don't know what I'm about. You haven't connected with me. You haven't built any rapport.
Yeah.
And you already jump into the sale. You're already jumping to your services. And so I feel that people drop the ball. They feel like they're achieving something by going to all the networking events, but they're missing the point. They're missing the community aspect. They're missing the support. They're missing the value that they can provide, and they will gain 10 times more than if it was just about them.
Right, and you see it for those who you might meet somebody at a networking event or say connect on LinkedIn, and they start sending you their sales pitch. And it's like a 4-page.
And you turn people off.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so networking is so important if you do it the right way.
Very, very important. Thank you. We're coming to the end of our session here, Alfonso. Would you care to share any tips or motivation for those, let's say, who've been in business for 2 to 3 years or so?
Yes, get out of your own way. Hire fast, fire fast, right? The problem is they hire the wrong people, they hire their friends, they hire their family members, and they don't fire fast enough. A bad person, a bad employee in your company will destroy your company more than add value. And so if people don't hire fast enough. So this is the problem. They don't hire fast enough, and when they do hire people, they don't fire fast enough.
Right.
And so you need to be in a position where once you find the key people, take care of your people, right?
But that's also a big risk. If let's say you're a small startup and you don't have much cash coming in, to hire somebody to help you, let's say with your social media, that's a risk. Would their work in social media bring you more business, and then you can afford to pay them?
You would be able if you hire someone for your social media, within 3 weeks if they're working out. Don't let it drag on, because it might be somebody else willing to do a better job. So hire fast and fire fast.
That's a great tip there, Alfonso.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the eSAX podcast series.
Oh, Jarrod, even 10 minutes, that's it.
It's a short one.
We need about an hour, but we'll see about that.
So thank you. I was joined by Alfonso Cuadra of Cuadra Group of Companies. Alfonso, how can people learn more about you?
You know what? Just go find me on Instagram, Alfonso Cuadra, my website, alfonsocuadra.com, quadragroup.com. Find me on Facebook. Google. I'm very Googleable. Find me and let's connect. I'm here. I'm a problem solver. So whatever issue you're having, whatever it is that you need from me, I'm here to serve.
That sounds great. And we'll have to have you back sometime soon, talk about your latest companies.
Yes.
Thank you, Alfonso. Appreciate it.